same as the move of left sum. That means it's inverse direction of right big friend. Yeah? Okay. And then step 3, aim at the road. Remember, when you aim at the road, you should do something to eliminate the parallax. The parallax. Yesterday, we didn't talk about that. If you aim at the target, when you screw the focusing screw to make the target clear and to rotate the ring of eyepiece to make the crosshair clear at the same time. Yeah? The target is clear, the crosshair clear. So in this situation, when you move your eye before the eyepiece up or down slightly, you will see the target image and the crosshair will be keep still, stable, no moving. But if there is parallax, that means the target of these two pictures the same. Yeah?
No.
The difference is not obvious. That means if there is some parallax, that means this is eyepiece and this is your eye. Yeah, this is your eye. And this is the plane of crosshair. This is the plane of crosshair. And this is the target, the road image. If there is some parallax, that means the image of the road and the plane of crosshair is not at the same plane. Have some difference, some distance between them. Okay? When you screw the focus screw to make the target clear and at the same time rotate the ring of eyepiece to make the crosshair very clear at the same time. That means at this time the target of the road image and the crosshair plane at the same position. And in this situation, when the eye up and down move slightly, the image will not move relatively. Yeah? That means we eliminate parallax first. If there is some parallax, that means in that situation, you will make some error in get reading, because the plane of crosshair, the image of road. So if your eye at this position, so and different direction when you get reading, the number will be different. Yeah? So you'll make some mistake or error. Okay. This is aim at the road. And then precisely learning. Of course, this step is not necessary for automatic lab. It's just need for tightening level. Okay? Yesterday, we didn't do this step. Yeah? We just directly get reading. So when you get reading, always from small number to big number. Sometimes from up to down, and sometimes from down to up. This is decided by the order shown in the view. Because if the image is normal, it should be like this. But sometimes some instruments will give you a inverse image. So the small number will be down and the big number up. Okay? So in that situation, you should get reading from up, down to up. Okay? This is get reading. I think you have all know how to get reading yesterday. Okay? But remember, be careful, because we have three horizontal hair, yeah? 2 short and 1 central. So you always use these to get the horizontal, get the reading. Of course, if you want to survey the distance between the instrument and the rod, we use this and these 2 short horizontal hair to get the readings, and then multiplied by 100, and then we can get the distance between instrument and the rod. Roughly. Okay. The method of learning. Yesterday, we just do it for only one station, only one setup. Today, we learn the method. Okay. First, some basic conceptions. First is benchmark. A permanent point with no elevation. Sometimes benchmark is also a permanent point with an unknown elevation. That means if a point you see in our compass on the ground, you will see many metal mark buried on the ground. Yeah, buried on the ground, half ball on the ground, and that is benchmark just buried by the teacher, prevent for the practical training for students. Yeah, that is benchmark. And sometimes the benchmark will be classified temporary benchmark and some permanent, and for different purpose. But if you bury the benchmark on the ground, firstly, you should choose some place safe and convenient location. That means the place you bury the benchmark should be firstly stable. If you bury this today and tomorrow you cannot find that is not good. Okay. Another thing is description of station. That means, for example, last winter, for you in your project, if you buried some benchmark on the ground, and after this spring, you will not find that because the grass grow up, and you cannot find that. So you should draw a draft picture. That means description of station to show the picture is well placed, where is the benchmark, and tell other people how to find that. Okay. Of course, this 2 picture is also both benchmark. This is just buried on in the earth, buried on the ground, and so firstly you should dig a hole and then put it in cement benchmark. Of course, at the top, this is metal made by metal, and sometimes you just dig a hole in the wall and just put in, okay? And this is also, of course, for this can, the top point is the mark for elevation, and for this can, this position, you can put the rod on this point, okay? So that means this point is the mark of the elevation or point, okay? And this is some temple benchmark. Sometimes we bury like this for permanent use, and sometimes we just use a wood, okay, directly, just use for 1 or 2 weeks, and even just for some minutes. So we use this simple benchmark. And this is description of station. That means the people to tell others the point. If we bury the benchmark on the ground, because sometimes we forget the position, and sometimes you bury the benchmark, and others will take a measure. So in this situation, they cannot find the position of the benchmark. So you should give them a draft picture and show the relationship between the benchmark and the obvious building, then you can find it easy. Okay, easy. Of course, nowadays you can draw a picture, draw a draft picture. Also, you can take a picture. Okay, this is the theorem. We say, firstly, this is the direction. So we have a foresight and a backside, and a backside. In some instruments, they will be marked by F, S, or BS. Sometimes it is shown just by F or B shown on the screen, especially in digital level. Okay? And we always, firstly, get the backside reading and then foresight reading. We always use backside reading minus foresight reading to get the elevation difference for this station, for this setup, Okay, so we have two formulas. One is for two benchmark, and another is for one backside point and many foresight points. Okay, this is two formulas. Okay. Today we learn leveling root, or leveling line. The root of leveling between two benchmarks, we call this line as leveling root or leveling line. We have three kinds. In fact, you can also say we have two kinds, because the first and the third is one kind. Okay, first is line leveling root. The second is loop. One is line, another is loop, and the third is open-ended. In fact, the open-ended, this kind is the same as loop. It's similar, or we say it's similar. So, for line leveling root, we start from one benchmark point and then go through 1 point, 2 point, 3rd point, and many other points, then get to the end, another benchmark. In this picture, you see here we have a circle, and then we have a cross. This means this point is a point with elevation, is given with known elevation. And this is just a small circle. That means this point is benchmark. We want to determine the elevation. Okay? We want to determine the elevation. It's unknown. And this across around a circle, we say these two with known elevation is given. So from one given benchmark to another given benchmark, this root is line leveling root. The second, from BM1, of course, that means this is given, with elevation. From here through point 1, point 2, 3, 4, then go back to the set. The start point and the ending point is the same point. This is a loop. Okay. We say, firstly, with this situation, from the BM1 and then go back BM1. That means we say 1, 2, 3. This is 3. These 4 points we wanted to determine its elevation. So we use the level to do leveling observation. So for this section, we say this is a root. This is a root. A root maybe includes many sections. For example, this is a section. So in this section, maybe include many stations, because yesterday you just used one station to get the elevation difference between 2 points, but the distance is too short. Yeah. Yeah. If you wanted to survey for engineering building 2 to the west gate, so this long distance you cannot use one station to get the elevation difference. Yeah. So you should take set up many stations. Yeah. So a route maybe includes many sections. One section maybe includes many setup, many stations. Okay. So if we set many stations and get the elevation difference between VM1 and 1, so the elevation difference we have get. Okay.